extending trust in that supply chain. When you eat bread in the morning, all these people work, kept their commitments to get you that bread. That is societal trust. Now, in the world of globalization, there has never been a time like this that you need to become competent. You will be working with people you will never see. They're in some different countries. This is a time you cannot even walk around thinking that you can't build trust. Here's the deal. How many of you have used a credit card on Amazon? No? Okay, let's do this. How many of you have actually bought anything on internet? What did you do? Was there a person sitting in front of you swiping your card? You just trusted this internet to take your money and send you the stuff. You know, when we were children, we grew up in an environment of familiarity. You know, if you hear your parents, most of them will say, "Our Gurdwara comes for 30 years," right? Do you think in the next generation that will happen? You won't even go to a bookstore to buy a book, you will be buying it from internet. So will you have a story that I have been to this bookstore for 30 years? No, you will not. That is going to happen, and that is requiring more trust than ever before in your work. Farmers in Idaho buy seeds from farmers in China to grow rice. What is this world coming to? And if we walk around not extending trust, we are only going to hurt ourselves. There are situations in your life that you will have to work with people who are strangers, extreme strangers. You will have to learn to trust them and extend trust to them. You are extending trust by trusting PayPal. You are trusting internet services. You are trusting that somebody who swipes your card is going to take the exact amount of money. You are in a global economy. This will change the face of the world. When you go into the workforce, and some of you will find that you will work with people who don't even look and feel like yourself. There will be whites, there will be African Americans, there will be Hispanics if you go for work for multinational companies. Are you not going to extend trust to them? Are you going to say, I only work with Indians? That's the word you're coming to. That is societal trust. Organizational trust. Are you going to work with a company where people hold information? They don't share agenda. Are you going to work for that company that actually where people can go and ask any question and they're given the information? Which company are you going to pick? Exactly. Why? Because there's trust in that organization. You can get the information you want. Any company is organized. Here's a tip, or here's the insight. There's a fabulous insight. If you find that you are working in an organization or you're dealing with people in your company that hold information, don't share with you, you will find yourself extremely frustrated in that role. You will leave that company eventually and move to a company where people share information, talk about issues, bring forth their concerns, and they are open to have a dialogue. Maybe agree, maybe disagree, but they are open to have a dialogue. That is a place you should be working. That is organizational trust. So when the employees are engaged, Google has 100% retention. Google as an organization in Mountain View, California has 100% retention. You know why? You have to go to the campus. It's an amazing campus. People are open to having an extremely open dialogue about any issue. They can ask for any information, whatever they want. JetBlue CEO, recent blackout in New York City, the JFK airport closed. He himself was sitting outside in the car out of JFK and looking for the names of passengers who were on JetBlue Airlines. Is that the CEO you will work for? Yes. That is organizational trust. Another, Starbucks as an organization, right? Howard Schultz, an extremely open person. He's the first person in corporate America who actually enrolled people to have a retirement saving plan for people who work in coffee shops. It doesn't happen in all of the Costa Coffee. It doesn't happen in Cafe Day. That is extending trust. That's organizational trust that they care for me and I'm willing to work for them. That is the organization you want. That is organizational trust. So I was having this conversation my mom. She said, I can trust people I know, I don't trust people who are strangers. In the new global society, you will learn to trust strangers. Here's the deal. The way to trust strangers is looking at their reputation. In the new global economy, you have to have an impeccable reputation. Impeccable. When people say your name, it's like a brand that they say. If you have an impeccable reputation, you will be finding yourself trusting people. Like say for example, right now, let's say, who is an impeccable reputation in Indian politics? Anybody? No. Dr. Manmohan Singh was here, right? And say for example, there were other people sitting who are not Indian citizens. Don't you think when we announce he's the Prime Minister or he's a very chief politician in the country, will they not trust him? He has an impeccable reputation. That's how people build trust. They Google your name or they find out about you in world news. You have an impeccable reputation, they want to work with you. So what are you going to do? You're going to have a impeccable reputation. Let's talk about, okay, you're going to all go into the workforce and there will be this scenario where people will hurt you in the organization. And I'll give you an example. When you will get your paycheck and your benefits have gone down, like your, all the health benefits will go down because there's an economic recession, you'll feel very cheated. Okay? Or for example, you will go to the workforce and for some reason this year your salary hike is not going to happen, you're going to feel very dissatisfied. So what, if you're a manager then, what are you going to do? Now you don't want to lose the people, you have trained them for so long, what are you going to do? Here's 7 steps that you should remember. When you talk about a situation like that, where you feel that you break trust with people, observe and acknowledge. Say, yes, I understand that we have actually taken away a benefit that was meaningful to you, so I'm sorry about that. And then if they are unhappy, let their feelings surface. He will probably have some complaints. Let them talk about it. Be open to having a dialogue. Get the support, like I'm with you, I'm listening to you, I'm willing to share my information with you. Be open to that kind of a dialogue. Tell them that they still have the choice to work here and not. Reframe their experience that it's not all victimization, you actually are empowered. Can you do that? You understand? Right now they're feeling that they are disempowered because you didn't help them make that money. You can actually say you have a choice whether you want to work here. I'd like you to work here, but you still have a choice. You empower people to make a decision. And then take responsibility. Say that actually I was part of the decision in which this cost saving was made because we are not making our revenue numbers. Tell them as is. Remember, say things as is. Forgive yourself. So here's the deal. There's a story that I actually have, a personal story of mine. So my friend used to work on Wall Street and used to be a trader. So one day he was trading stocks and he comes to his manager running and he says, I just lost a lot of money. And the manager looked at him because he was trading stocks. It's a gamble. He said, how much? He said, $10 million. And the manager looked at him, so you lost $10 million on the floor today? He said, yes. And he's a new intern kind of person. He's like starting his job. And he says, I'm sure you're going to fire me now, right? Because I lost a lot of money. You know what the manager told him? The manager said, I'm not firing you now that I've invested $10 million in you. So,